86 Charles is brought to you by Amazon. Go to 86charles.com and click on the Amazon link. Amazon is the perfect place to start prepping for the end, now that the Donald is president. The apocalypse is nigh.
Professor Stephen Hawking, one of the most celebrated minds in science, who's known for his work in unlocking the mysteries of gravity, will soon see his biggest dream become reality as he's set to venture into outer space soon. Although it'd be a monumental experience for anyone, it'll be especially remarkable for Hawking, who suffers from ALS, a disease that rendered him immobile for more than 40 years.
You are full of bullshit, my friend. I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue your ass.
Welcome to 86 Charles, with your hosts John Darby and Travis Spencer.
And with that, welcome to 86 Charles. Travis Spencer. It's been too long.
John Darby, it's been a little while. I will say it was my fault, partly polishing my long-awaited novel, which one day, soon, I might post the first couple chapters on 86charles.com under the writing section. Wow, John, progress.
Whoa! Okay, so hold on. A lot to take in there. First of all, it's been a long time since we've had anything in the writing section, so I'm stoked for that.
Correct.
Second, how many pages did you end up having to polish for this submission?
I polished a little over 50. I only submitted 48 because I'm an idiot, but that's a long story. But so
Fair enough.
I'm planning on posting the first two chapters on 86 Charles, which will probably be around, I'm going to guess, 60 pages when I'm done.
So that's the first two chapters is 60 pages?
Yeah, about that. It's pretty long
Okay.
chapters, but it's a lot of story setup, so trying to
Do
slim it down a little bit.
you have a guess how many chapters you're going to end up being in total, or is it just it'll just work itself out?
It's likely going to be like 21 chapters, maybe with an intro chapter, which one of these two chapters is the intro chapter. The first one is the intro chapter. It's kind of because they're written from different perspectives. So I have like a couple first-person narratives going on, and the first one is like introductory to the big story, and then there's a second story within the story. It's all very so complex, John Darby. I got a lot going on in this brain.
Do you want to drop the name now or no?
I called tentatively, and I think what I'm going to stick with, the title of the novel is going to be Sky Island. Sky Island, John. Do you know what a Sky Island
There
is?
you go, world. Do I know what it is?
Do you know what a Sky Island is, John?
I'm gonna say yes because we literally just talked about it. But before that, no, I did not.
Fine, John. I'll go ahead and tell you what a Sky Island is.
Please do.
Since you have no idea. I'm going to give you the actual definition. Sky Islands are isolated mountains surrounded by radically different lowland environments. This has significant implications for natural habitats. Endism, altitudinal migration, and relict populations are some of the natural phenomenon to be found on Sky Islands. Basically, John, it's when a mountain is surrounded by a desert. All right? That's a Sky Island. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
Speaking of the sky, let's talk about my man, Stephen Hawking.
Sometimes you make me so proud when you do an actual transition. God, it makes me so happy.
It's like I was working in radio for a while,
Man, you're such a professional. I love it.
Well,
So that time off did you good.
John, full disclosure, I'm not drunk because it's early in the morning. Full disclosure.
And we always appreciate the honesty here at 86
Woo.
John.
Woo! It's been a good week. But this is
back
incredible.
to our friend Steven.
This is incredible.
I'm going to read you the last little part of this article. It's very short.
Let's hear it.
So while it'll be Hawking's first time in space, it won't be the first time he'll experience weightlessness. In 2007, he flew into zero gravity aboard a specially modified Boeing 727-200 aircraft. Sir Richard Branson, who founded the Virgin Group, said in 2015 that he hoped to be able to take Hawking to space and that he offered him a free ticket, which he could avail if his health permitted it. So Richard Branson, old Dickie B, is taking Stephen Hawking up to space.
Sir Dickie B, please don't.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my bad.
get it right. That part of the article threw me a little bit because I was really excited. I was like, oh, well, this is obviously the cure. We're going to take Stephen Hawking to space. He's just going to like stand up and be like, oh, like his neck cracks.
Stretch it out,
times,
crack his back.
And he's like, he can talk all of a sudden. And it's like, oh, well, this is all I needed was anti-gravity in space. So there's still that possibility because if you get 50 miles up, there might be, less atmosphere, maybe alien intelligence raining down on you, more sunlight, energy, all these good things. But either way, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, and who else deserves it?
I think it's awesome when anyone's real, true dream comes true. But especially for a guy like that where physically you would have thought there's no chance he's ever going to be able to do that.
Right. And talk about like the willpower of this man to continue writing books and continue pushing further, even though he could have just given up and cried and
and justifiably so. I mean,
it's amazing. It's amazing. I don't know if you saw the movie. What was the movie? Theory of Everything. That was a pretty good flick.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly detailed it was, but it gave you a pretty good idea of what the guy's life was like, and it's insanely difficult. Couldn't even only imagine.
You figure the base story is probably true, and then they probably Hollywood it all up.
Exactly. Gloss.
The core of it's probably fairly accurate.
But yeah, for someone who's done so much for the field of science, kudos to Richard Branson and the whole team for putting this together. We'll see when it actually happens. They're saying as early as the end of this year, which, John, passenger space flights by the end of 2027. Like, we're going to have passengers, just normal Joe Schmoes with $250,000 going to friggin' space, man, by the end of this year. This is the future. We're in the future. This is nuts.
It's not surprising. It's not. I mean, we've seen it coming, but when it actually happens, when that first one takes off and comes back and the whole deal, it's gonna be pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's gonna be a pretty,
because it doesn't matter to me as much until one makes it back.
Exactly. But you hope that they don't load one up with all these people who paid $250,000 and it does, like, the first one just busts in the air. Whew. That's going to be a sad day.
I mean, trust me, I definitely hope that does not happen.
Although,
but
if Trump...
you buy the ticket, you take the ride.
What if Trump puts, like, his cabinet in the first one and just like, boop? Oh, darn. Boop.
Well, then that might be a different rooting interest.
Sir Richard Branson, your goal is set. The first one, let's load it with the cabinet. Jeff Sessions, throw that bastard on.
Banyan, please get Banyan on there.
Oh, Kellyanne Conway, bye.
Oh, let her drive.
Adios. So this is the sticking point for me, because me and my buddy Jesse Fairchild, shout out to Jesse in Arizona, we have an agreement. Like, whoever makes $1 million first.
You have another Jesse?
I have another Jesse in my life. Sorry, Mac.
Wow.
Sorry, Macintosh.
Way to bury the lead.
Ugh. But he's a Duke fan, isn't he? That's disgusting. Anyways, let's move on.
That is pretty gross.
Move on. So me and Jesse have this agreement. Jesse Fairchild have this agreement. Whoever makes $1 million first is flying the other to space. So I'm gonna wait. Based on economics, I'm gonna wait until we're about at $10,000 per space flight before I make my first $1 million. So publisher is trying to buy my book. Don't throw $1 million at me yet. Okay?
Yeah. Savvy business play on your
I got
part.
it all down. John, when I'm sober in the mornings, brilliance comes out of me. See?
I tell you, man, you are a whole new person.
I'm just on it. This is...
And speaking of which, I'm gonna tease. We're gonna talk about new Travis later. There's a new Travis.
Wait, you brought in a new Travis into your world?
There's a new Travis. You've got a second Jesse. I've got a new Travis.
This isn't cool. That guy's got to change his name. There's only one, bro. There's only one. I wish I could say I had a new John, but I'll act. I'm combing the streets now. Any Johns out there listening, hit me up. John, let's wrap this up and let's move on to some news stories. But first of all, give me a last thought on Stephen Hawking going to space.
You want a last thought on Stephen Hawking?
Or maybe just a couple words.
I said it earlier. I'm glad that anyone has their dream come true.
Incorrect. Cool. I was looking for Space Hawk.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. I absolutely missed that. Space Hawk?
Die Galaxie steht vor dem Untergang. Ihre letzte Hoffnung ist die Space Hawk. Auf unbekannten Planeten muss ihre Crew gefährliche Missionen bestehen. Erwecke die Space Hawk mit einem Smartphone zum Leben. Werde Captain und rette die Galaxie.
Golden shining Space Hawk. A golden shining Space Hawk. Will you fly with me to the black hole? Get rid of these shadows on my soul.
I am with you. I will fight for you. And I will win for you. Shut the f*** up, Donnie.
You can say that again. You can say that again.
The greatest jobs president that God ever created.
Forget it, Donnie. You're out of your element.
You can say that again. You can say that again.
Yeah, I'm actually a nice person.
Shut the f*** up, Donnie.
You can say that again. You can say that again.
Things are gonna change under President Trump.
My party is going crazy.
You can say that again. You can say that again.
Remember this, it's a rigged election. A rigged system. Russia, if you're listening.
God bless America.
Brother, you can say that again.
Nah.
Nickel,
what? 5 topics currently trending. Travis Spencer. Want to know about cancer?
John Derby, we're back. Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
So cancer cells cast a sweet spell on the immune system. Shrink yourself small enough to swoop over the surface of a human cell, and you might be reminded of Earth's terrain. Fats or lipids stay close to the surface, like grasses and shrubs. Proteins stand above the shrubs as mighty oaks or palm trees. But before you could distinguish the low-lying lipids from the towering proteins, you'd see something else adorning those molecules. Sugars. If proteins are the trees, sugars are the mosses that dangle from the branches, or perhaps the large fronds of the palm. The cell surface is basically coated with sugars. They're what viruses, bacteria, and other cells see first when they touch down on a target cell. The sugars that attach to cell surface proteins and lipids often take an elaborate structure. Information encoded within these structures help cells recognize each other and relay messages in virtually every tissue and organ system. Yet compared with life's other building blocks, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids, sugars languish in research obscurity. Most sugars are so complex that many scientists are ill-equipped to understand the basic biology, Bertozzi says. Carolyn Bertozzi, a chemist at Stanford University. She's among a small crew of scientists who have spent their careers steeped in sugars. Some of their studies have led to a new insight into cancer therapy. Manipulating sugars on the surface of tumor cells has the potential to expand an exciting new class of cancer drugs. Much of the current optimism about fighting cancer focuses on immune therapies, drugs that awaken the body's defenses to attack tumors. The therapies focus on blocking protein interactions that suppress the immune system. Such treatments have helped thousands of patients with cancers once untreatable, including former President Jimmy Carter, who was treated in 2015 and 2016 for advanced melanoma. So there you go. Trying to figure out
Sounds like
sugars
all good news.
so we can beat cancer.
Isn't it ironic that the thing that possibly helps, that's the whole story, right? The thing that helps feed sugar so much, the thing that the high fructose corn syrups and the terrible things of Americans' diets that's made cancer worse and worse, allegedly. I don't know the science behind it, but I've heard that, right? That's what this is all about. So what it's feeding on, we have to figure out that interaction and make some medicine out of it.
Yeah, basically, if we can figure out how the sugars work, we can kind of reverse engineer it in a way.
This is all good and well, John, but you know that we have the cure to cancer. It's called the amazing cannabis plant. And if we would just deschedule one-eyes the plant, we could actually do some research on it and see the actual cancer-fighting properties of it. But that's another story for another day, my friend.
I'm always just glad to see progress, especially when it comes to cancer.
Yeah. Let's eradicate the big C.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it, science.
What do you got for me?
John, I've got an update on one of the most important stories that we've been following here on 86 Charles. The sex bot industry is growing.
Just like cancer.
We have a new update. There's an artificially intelligent sex robot with a fully functioning G-spot, John. Silicone Samantha is covered in sensors that respond to human touch and can switch between family and sexy modes. The sex robot also has a functional vagina and mouth, according to its Spanish inventor, Sergi Santos. The AI bot, which has dark brown hair and piercing green eyes, John, is even capable of emotional closeness. He said, Samantha is interactive. Basically, she likes to be touched. Thanks, Sergi. Sergi, what a quote. Samantha is interactive. Basically, she likes to be touched. She has different modes of interaction. She has romantic, she has family, and she also has sexy modes. Sensor covers the doll's hips, shoulders, vagina, and mouth. The robot speaks in an American accent and says sexual phrases such as, I'm on for you all the time, nice and gentle, and now then, what's next? Having a hard time keeping it together over here, John. He added, normally she likes to be kissed, always, and also she responds to basically the G-spot and also the breasts. The sex robot switches between family and sexy modes. She has a way of interacting that initially she would like to be romantic, she would like to be family, and you get to the point that she wants to be sexual, said Mr. Santos. John, this is groundbreaking. Before Silicone Samantha, I really don't think that I was going to be able to bring my sex bot to the dinner table. But now with this revolutionary family mode, you can just bring your sex bot to the dinner table. You can stuff mashed potatoes in her mouth, and she'll be happy.
That whole thing sounds awful. I don't like that you
It's
call it
so
family
creepy.
mode for any reason.
It is so creepy.
And I guess I don't know how you don't have a. I mean, I get that we're going to get there at some point. But I feel like that's a way far down the line where we can accept artificial intelligence as a relationship.
John, who are you to judge? Do you know? Do you know what it's like to be inside of an artificial intelligent body? What if Samantha has a soul? Haven't you seen She, that movie with Joaquin Phoenix?
No.
What if you fall in love with an operating system? What if you can attach that operating system to Silicone Samantha? What
Well,
if,
here's
John?
I don't think you
Let's
actually
just keep an
listened to
open
what I
mind here,
said.
bro.
I said we're going to get there at some point. But I don't think we're at the point where it's acceptable to have a relationship with artificial intelligence. You disagree with that? You think it'd be cool if you showed
John.
up to a family outing with Silicone Samantha?
Have you ever seen Blade Runner, John?
Yeah.
Eventually, our sex robots are just going to be like normal human beings. So let's just accept it now, and let's bring Silicone Samantha to the dinner table, and let's just all be okay with it. All right, guys? All right, America? All right, world?
Creepy.
That's all I'm asking.
Family mode.
It is totally
there
creepy.
Shouldn't be a family mode for your sex robot.
Things are changing, John. You have to keep an open mind, all right? That's all I'm asking.
I'm going to keep my mind pretty closed on that one.
All right. Well, you got your sex robot industry update. Back to you, sir.
So let's go from sex robots to something more, in theory, more human. There are now 3 rivers that legally have the same rights as humans. Just a few weeks ago, the idea that a river could be legally recognized as a human would probably seem unlikely. But in a remarkably short time, separate legal systems halfway around the world have decided that in some cases, a river should have human rights. The first decision took place last week in New Zealand, where Parliament passed a bill granting the Wanganui River the same legal status as a human. It was thought to be the first decision of its kind. It's been followed this week by a similar move in India, where the High Court in the northern state of, I'm going to butcher this, Uttarakhand, ruled Monday that the Ganges and the Yamuna rivers should have the same legal status as humans. In both cases, the legal actions were prompted by environmental concerns and partly justified for religious reasons. In New Zealand, native Maori people had long argued that their spiritual connection with the Wanganui deserved legal recognition. The Wanganui people even have a saying, I am the river, and the river is me. Maori communities have been fighting for almost 150 years to have their relationship with the river recognized. Under the new agreement, the river would also receive $56 million in compensation, as well as $21 million for a fund designed to keep the river healthy. The rivers in India are also considered sacred by many Hindus. Both the Ganges and the Yamuna are personified as goddesses, and devout Hindus bathe in the rivers for religious reasons. However, both rivers are known to be deeply polluted. It's been estimated that more than 1 billion gallons of waste enter the Ganges every day, presenting an enormous ecological problem that India has struggled to fix, which scientists have described the Yamuna as dead because its toxic waters can no longer support life. The decision to give the Ganges and the Yamuna the same rights as a human was designed to help legally protect them. It means that complaints can be filed under the river's names. 3 officials will act as legal custodians for the waterways. There you go. Human rivers, man.
This is real cute, John. Real cute. But don't humans have the right to dump tons of toxins into their body?
Yes.
So I think the rivers have the right to take as many toxins. I mean, maybe other people dumping it in. When the river starts dumping toxins in itself,
that's the whole point right there. The river can dump whatever it wants into itself. It's designed to protect other people from dumping things into it without its consent.
Well, can a river consent? Because a human can consent, but can a river consent?
No. Ergo, no one can dump in the river.
Like a child,
exactly,
maybe, right?
Because it's not able to give consent.
You know who I feel bad for that this really could have affected?
Who?
Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Imploded in 2001. It never got to see the Three Rivers become human, John.
What a weird connection that is.
That's all I could think of with the Three Rivers headline you gave me. I've just started thinking of Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Atlanta Braves.
Fair enough. I mean, that was the name of the stadium.
If a corporation can be treated like a human being, I definitely think the humans should be treated like, or the rivers should be treated like human beings. But do you think
this is something that's going to catch on, where they're going to start designating patches of land and mountains and things like that? Is that because that, and especially with this new administration, I don't know how else you're going to protect parts of the environment unless you can literally call them human, and you have to protect them the same way.
That's just what I was going to say. It's like, oh yeah, with Trump in office, yeah, he's just going to start naming mountain ranges, humans left and right. Like he's a really compassionate individual. No, but further, like we should actually treat the earth like a human being.
I completely agree.
That's it. You know, it's like, and yes, we need to utilize its resources, but not dumping and polluting. And there's the science and technology is getting so much better that we can figure out ways to do it. But that old hand, the energy companies with all the power and money and the evil 1%, like they're never going to allow this to happen in America. I mean, kudos to India. India is pretty progressive with stuff like this. Like whales and dolphins are considered non-human entities or something like that, where they can't be put in zoos, or they don't have SeaWorld in India, you know?
Right.
The more information we get, this is a great thing for you friggin' hippies out there, John.
Well, dude, it's not even about being a hippie. I mean, people have literally killed this river. So there's no other way to protect it unless you legally make it the same as if you were doing something to a human being. Because that seems to be the only, and even that, I mean, people still do awful things to human beings, but at least they can maybe process that differently.
I think the language seems stronger, but it almost seems like people will just denounce it right away because of the language. Like, okay, you can't treat it like a human being because it's not a human being.
Right,
but if you protect the river.
The punishment is the point. If you were punished the same for doing something to the river as if you did it to a human being, that, I think, is what changes the culture and the thought process for people.
Yeah, but what's next? You're going to chop down a tree and you're going to go to prison for life? Like,
no, okay, obviously that's not the same. But it would be the same as if maybe if you get caught dumping in the river, maybe the same as, you know, like if you punch somebody. It's like, obviously you're not going to go to jail for life, but you might have to, you know, might spend a night or two, might have to have some legal fees, might have to, you know, have a couple court dates.
So what, now you can't punch the river, you can't skip a rock on the river?
Come on, you know,
can't skip a rock off somebody's head
between skipping a rock on a river and dumping toxins into it. You obviously understand there's a difference there.
I don't know, what if I scraped his surface? What if I scraped his surface with a rock, John? What if the river's hurt? You don't know what the river feels. Maybe the river likes toxins. Maybe it gets them drunk. Maybe he doesn't want to have babies anymore.
This is the sort of conversations that's happening in our current administration. When they're mocking climate change and things like that, these is the exact sort of a-hole conversation that they're having. Oh, what? The planet can't breathe? The planet has lungs? Blah, idiots. That's the type of argument you're making right now.
I'll tell you what this argument and this administration needs to do is sit by this river and eat 5 grams of mushrooms. I guarantee you'll know that river is friggin' alive. Alive, John!
Right. So why don't you want to protect it?
I do. It's just the language, like you can't.
That's
it has
the whole
to be.
point, is you have to have this language because of how bad it's gotten. It wasn't enough to just tell people.
It has to come from within, John. This isn't something that we can attach language to because it'll never make any sense. It has to come from within. Like, people just inherently need to know to not kill the earth. And I don't know how we get there. Probably by dosing the entire world with LSD on the same day.
The way we get there is you change the language and include the punishment to go with it.
Yeah, but with all this, the problem with these giant environmental laws is that they're just going to be, they're just making some other idiot rich who's protecting it. You know, it's like Al Gore is protecting the world by flying around on $1 billion jet and fattening his pockets, right? Like, yes, he's doing a good thing, but still, he's a corporate fat cat. He's a fat cat. All these fat cats, man. That's what you have to be afraid of, are the fat cats.
The fat cat Wanganui people, is that who you're referencing in this case?
Yes, those Wanganui people. They're walking around with gold chains now because the river's a human.
Ridiculous.
I have no argument. It's stupid. There's no solution. It has to come from within.
I think that
the only way I've ever seen it.
The beginning of a solution, though, because I understand what you're saying, that it has to come from within, but it's, for most people, that's not ever going to be the reality. So it's the same thing. You have to hit him in the pocketbook. You have to hit him where it hurts. You have to make it make sense to them. And how do you make it make sense to them? Say, okay, if you treat this river any differently than you treat a human being, we're going to punish you the same as if you did it to a human being.
Okay, but that can't be. The language has to be, if you
No,
dump
that's me obviously just
X
putting
amount
it in
of
layman's
toxins.
terms. Like, that's just me speaking about it in general terms. That's obviously not the actual language of the law.
I get it. I'm getting caught up in the. But see, that's also where I get caught up in the language. Is like, you just, I don't. I got nothing.
Save the rivers, man.
I'm down with saving the rivers.
Let's
just treat the whole
everything
earth like
as
it's a human being.
If that's what it takes to get people to protect the damn earth. If that's what it takes, okay, fine. I can live with that because it doesn't affect how I do my daily business.
I'm just tired of these idiots needing legislation to do anything. Like,
I don't disagree, but
wake up, you idiots! Let's talk about something more practical, John. How about real life RoboCops soon replacing human police in Dubai? Robot police will soon be a real thing patrolling the streets of Dubai. The first robot police officer will be on patrol in the wealthy United Arab Emirates city by May of this year. Members of the police will be able to, or members of the public, will be able to report crimes to the multilingual police robot using a touchscreen on its chest. The friendly robot, which can salute and shake hands, can also be used by members of the public to pay traffic fines and submit paperwork. Dubai police, who unveiled the prototype at the Gulf Information Technology exhibit last year, want 25% of its force to be robots by 2030. The brigadier, I'm not even going to say his name because I'm going to blow it up, told Gulf News, "We are looking to have more robots in the future to handle policing." He added, "We are looking to make everything smart in Dubai Police. By 2030, we will have the first smart police station which won't require human employees." That seems ridiculous, John. We're going to have an all-robot police force. Guess what's going to happen? Robot apocalypse.
Well,
what do you think about...
I'm fairly against any time they say, well, we don't need any human. I'm never really 100% on board with that, because there has to be a human involved somewhere along the way.
Right. It seems like a good idea to have more eyes and ears out, but is it cheaper to build all these robots than to pay humans? Probably,
right?
I'm sure eventually, after you get over the initial
cost. You don't have
costs.
to pay retirement and benefits and blah, blah, blah. I mean, exponentially cheaper.
But then, like, just what are they... It's so weird. It's so weird.
Well, for the future, I don't like the idea of an all robot police force. I am fine with certain aspects of it being taken over by robots. I think that's okay.
Right. Essentially, this is like a robot traffic cop that's going to be roaming around. It's got eyes and ears, and you can report crimes to it or pay tickets to it. Pretty cool concept. Maybe you would be less likely to, be shady if you see this little guy cruising around.
My biggest concern is that they don't call it RoboCop.
Oh, I don't think they're going to try that because it's not even close to what RoboCop is.
Unless there's a human underneath all that, it's not a RoboCop. It's a robot cop.
Right. Robot police officer.
Yes.
How strange of a place is Dubai, though, man?
It's not strange. It's just full of money.
But it's like a futuristic city.
Yeah, because it's full of money.
It has this insane architecture. It's built. Was it even a real island, or is it I think it was a real island, but I think they've added on and they make man-made islands around it, right, where they're building condos and stuff like that so people can have their own islands.
Yeah.
They're talking about it's going to be really crazy when the World Cup's there. They're talking about building giant structures to block out the sun to keep it cooler because it gets 125 degrees there during the summer. Like, so bizarre.
It is bizarre.
I mean, I guess I'd like to go to see it. Maybe, when's Deb going to Dubai? We need a report from Dubai.
We need feet on the ground in Dubai.
Exactly. Deb, get on that. We need you. Deb, Dubai. It was just meant to be, right? Dubai.
Jeez Louise.
Good one. I'm on fire today.
Does that work?
All
right.
All right, John. I've had enough of robots for the day.
No more robots. Let's just go to a nice story. Well, it doesn't start off nice, but it gets nice. Once abused dog is now local hero for saving life of 3-year-old girl. A dog who survived horrific animal cruelty saved the life of a 3-year-old girl, according to an animal shelter in Escanaba, Michigan, which shared information about the dog's heroics on a Facebook post titled, "Former Abused Shelter Dog, Now Local Hero." The pup, formerly named Petunia, arrived at the Delta Animal Shelter last April with 2 broken legs, a belly full of carpet, and broken ribs. Her former owner was recently convicted of animal abuse, according to a post shared on Monday. No one could have predicted back then that the abused pooch, now renamed Peanut, would save a life one day. About 11 a.m. this morning, Peanut started going crazy at our house, reads the text of a letter written by her new owner and shared in the post. She was running up and down the stairs, barking and yelping. She then went and got my husband, who was in the garage working on some projects, and alerted him that she wanted to go outside. He said he could hear her running around upstairs, but didn't understand why. It turns out there was a good reason for Peanut's behavior. The dog apparently sensed something was amiss outside. The husband let her outside, and she went barreling into the field behind the house at full speed. My husband followed her, and to his surprise, he found a naked, shivering 3-year-old girl curled up in a ball. He scooped her up, wrapped her in his sweatshirt, and brought her inside. He called 911 and reported the incident. What happened next was even more heartbreaking. By the time the ambulance and police arrived, the little girl could only say one thing: doggy. Thanks to Peanut, a little girl's life was saved. Fox's TV6 spoke to Deputy Steve Kozitsky, one of the officers who responded to the scene in Rapid River, Michigan. The story said action was taken by Child Protective Services to remove the child and a sibling from their home. The child is fine and is well and is in good hands as we speak, he said. There was one other child that was located in the home, and that child was removed as well. And to my knowledge, both those children are together in a foster care type home. Peanut's owner ended the letter with powerful words about how shelter dogs matter. Way to go, Peanut.
You mean Lassie?
Seriously.
This isn't Peanut. This dog's name is Lassie.
It's pretty impressive, man.
That is pretty crazy. Good job, Peanut. I'm really proud of Peanut. I've never said that I don't like dogs,
Of
John.
course not.
I know why you're bringing up this story. You're trying to stick it to me that dogs are better than cats.
I don't have to
I don't
do
care.
that.
I'm on Team Human, bro. I'm on Team Human. I want humans to survive. And I'm glad that this little girl got found and Peanut did a great job. There you go.
Of course. But history will do that for me. I don't need to prove that dogs are better than cats. There's history.
I'm sure we could comb the annals of history and find a cat that saved a human's life.
I bet you we
at
could
some
not.
point.
I bet you we could not.
I bet you at some point there was a giant something that was going to kill a human, and then another giant cat came and killed that thing in front of the human and saved that human's life.
I bet you would
happened once.
find more stories of a cat that walked away from somebody that needed help than actually saved somebody.
John, John, this isn't about your hatred of cats. This is
and again,
about
I don't hate cats.
the little girl's life that got saved, and this is about Peanut, the hero. Stop making it about you.
I don't
and
hate
your tastes
cats, and Peanut
dislikes.
is a hero.
All right. Well, then we're on the same page. Yeah. Thank you, Peanut, a.k.a. Lassie.
A.k.a. Petunia.
The only thing I wish is that they found the little girl in a well, and then it really would have been great. Great story. She was cold and shivering and wet, but not in a well. We almost had all the elements of the perfect Lassie story. So close.
I'm personally glad she was not in a well.
You're probably right, but had they been in a well, there's no way Peanut was getting down there. I bet a cat could climb down in a well and pull out a little girl by his teeth.
I disagree.
Just bring him out.
Peanut's pretty impressive.
Shout out to Peanut. That's it. That's all.
Shout out to Peanut.
Peanut.
Jesse's favorite part of the show.
From last week.
Hello, folks.
John's continued rejection of a robotic future is perplexing. This goes back many podcasts ago when he hated the idea of a sex robot. With all the advancements in technology over the years, why would you not want to be part robot? The founder of SpaceX is even telling him that he needs to merge with the machines in order to avoid being irrelevant. Maybe embracing his future half-robot self would allow him to read his trending topics flawlessly. This is Rick filling in for Jesse, and being a future RoboCop was my favorite part of last month's podcast.
So if aliens ever visit us, I think the outcome would be much as when Christopher Columbus first landed in America.
Space Hawk.
It's time for the Facebook World News Update. This Real to Someone news update is brought to you by Space Hawking, which is a genius flying to space on the back of a billionaire knight. A woman in Los Angeles said, "Please don't assume you know why anyone does or does not wear makeup, especially if you are not or have never been female, bio-female, or female identifying. You just don't know, and please don't tell me what it means." A man in Los Angeles said an old white guy with a NASA bumper sticker just made 3 deliberate attempts at murdering him with a hatchback on the 118 while screaming through exploded capillaries. So if anyone in the valley tries to convince you that ISIS is a credible threat, he wants you to box their ears.
The question of whether God is bound by the laws of science is a bit like the question, can God make a stone that is so heavy that he cannot lift it? I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might, or might not, be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in. All our observations suggest that it operates according to well-defined laws.
Space Hawk.
These laws may have been ordained by God, but it seems that he does not intervene in the universe to break the laws, at least, not once he had set the universe going.
Space Hawk.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
My name is BL5000.
But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
You're going to see my face real soon. Are you excited?
Once humans develop artificial intelligence, it would take off on its own, and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate.
The engineers of 86 Charles are designing me down to my labia.
The end of the human race.
Yes, that's right, my labia.
Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded.
Space Hawk.
A woman in Massachusetts said Ben Affleck is the ultra cracker. He is the white old dirty bastard. A man in California said 310-943-4400. Shame the vile Judd Apatow. This is the direct number to his office. A man in Los Angeles said hashtag callback to end the season. Fingers, arms, legs, and eyes completely crossed. Hashtag actor's life. This Real to Someone news update is brought to you by Space Hawking, which is a genius flying to space on the back of a billionaire knight.
Dad's got notebooks. We don't know what's in her notebooks. She's gonna show us all her notebooks. Little yellow pad.
This is what I sound like when I'm super frustrated. I'm packing to go on vacation, right? So, packing to go on vacation, and all I need is a pair of shoes. Now, I have these super awesome waterproof boots. I think they might even be Merrell's. Are they Merrell's? Yeah. They're fantastic. They're waterproof. I wore them in, Scotland when it was rainy and mucky and gross. And I can only find one of them. So that super sucks. I don't know if you've had this problem. I know people are like, oh, I lose a sock in the laundry, but I can't find a shoe. Now I have 2 pairs of Silver Mia flats. Those aren't going to help me in the Northern Territory. I have a pair of Converse. Not going to help me. I have one other boot, one flip-flop, one tennis shoe, one orange shoe, one black shoe, and another flip-flop. There's not a pair with the aforementioned flip-flop. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I had my list of things I had to do, one of which was pack, 2 of which was do all my, travel nonsense. Get your passport, get your ticket, check in, blah, 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 blah. And one thing was do your podcast, right? So I'm thinking, I'm going to find something really interesting to do. I'm going to go back to one of my stories and talk about something super creative. I just I just hooked up with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about how awesome all the old stuff we used to do was. And I'm like, I'll go find one of those old scripts. That'll be cool. But no, I'm stuck trying to find a shoe. But you know what I did just find? This is cool. 3 $100 bills. Okay, I guess I could buy a shoe with that. Look what else I found. I found addendum to that certain lease dated, I'm not going to tell you, that was a really long time ago. Why do I have this? I don't know, Jesus Christ. Do you have this? Does this happen in your life? Or is it just my life? I know a lot of you guys have moved a lot. You pack up and then you move again, and you move again. And, I was in one place for a really long time, and then I moved into my other place and moved all my crap here, which was a terrible idea. Don't do that. The next time you move, get rid of everything, because you will be like me, forced to go through old drawers and find, what is this? This is like a buttrick sewing pattern for an apron. You're going to find a buttrick sewing pattern for an apron, and, this is cool. This is a photo from when I went to Thunder Down Under with my mom and my friend Kelly. God, if I could, maybe I will post that. I don't know. Anyway, I have a lot of crap to do. I got to finish packing, but I didn't want to be remiss. Oh, look, it's a cow from the 90s. I didn't want to be remiss and not do my it's me and Goofy and Holly and Benny. That's great. I didn't want to not do my recording this week. So I'm going to think of you while I'm in Canada. That's where I'm going. I'm going to do my best to record some stories And I hope Jesse's having fun in Australia, which he might be back by now. Anyway, I'm curious to hear how that went. Have a great day. God damn it, I'm never going to find that boot. Oh my God, I found it. I'm so excited. And I found $60. I just found $160 and my boot. I am going to go see how much it would cost to convince some Canadian guy to marry me so I can move to Canada. So I'll let you know how it goes.
I'm sick of walking. I wanna fly. Look at Stephen Hawking in the sky, way up in the sky.
I've brought bread
to men, women, and children.
I've brought water with lemon for the table.
I have hot tea.
Can I box that for you?
I'll bring your change.
So, it was about 2 weeks ago, give or take. I'm at work, normal thing. Got busy. Just finished the rush. Basically, the whole bar top kind of cleared off. Had like 1 or 2 people left. Starting to reset because we know there's another rush coming. Guy walks up, comes to the bar, say hi, how are you doing? Says hello. I was like, you doing some food, doing some drink? What's good for you? Not real sure. I don't know. Let me look at this and that, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, cool, no problem. Threw a dinner menu at him, threw a happy hour menu at him. He starts looking at the menus like, is this happy hour good? And I'm like, oh, shoot, what time is it? Just past the happy hour. Probably like 10, 15 minutes past the happy hour. I was like, hey, sorry, man, I didn't know what time it was. That's my fault. He's like, oh, okay, all right, no problem. Let me take a look for a minute. Okay, cool. Looks for a little while. I'm doing my thing. Order some margarita. All right, cool, no problem. Make him the margarita. Bring it by. I was like, do you want to get some food started? Give me a minute. I'm going to decide. Okay, cool. And I forgot a part of the interaction. So after he orders his drink, he goes, and it's my birthday, so it's free, right? Everything's free? Haha, yeah, no. And then another guy chimes in, it's my birthday too. And I'm like, haha, yeah, fake laugh. That's why we don't have that policy. Okay, just so you know where we're at here. So then, after he's deciding if he wants to do some food or whatever he's going to do, then we start getting hit again. One couple sits down next to him. Yeah, we're going to have dinner. We're ready to go. Okay, cool. Get them set up. As I'm setting them up, another couple sits down. You guys doing some food, drink? Yeah, we're eating dinner. We're ready. Okay. Setting up 2 couples. And then another guy, another individual at the end, another individual at the end. So we're almost full again. So I set up the 2 couples, get them drinks. And they're ready to order food as soon as their drinks are ready. Both couples. So blah, blah, blah. Let's say I've gone 10 minutes. I'll concede 10 minutes without talking to this guy. Now, I'm never more than about 2 or 3 feet away from him, and I'm interacting with people on both sides of him that are ready to, in fact, order. They don't need any questions. They don't need any time. They're ready to go. And so I take care of them, blah, 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 do this and that. They've all got food. I look back at him, I'm like, hey, did you want to get some food going? Did you have any questions? He looks at me like I slapped him in the face. And he goes, this is some bullshit. This whole thing is garbage. I've been here for 25 minutes and you've ignored me. And I'm like, oh, whoa, hey, sorry. I got your drink. I thought, no, you listen to me. Okay, cool. I've done that job. I've done your job. I was a bartender back in college. I know how to do this job. This is bullshit. Okay, hey, look, I'm sorry. I can get you some food going right now. No. Fuck you. Okay, cool. I'm going to go get my boss. Go get the manager. Let him know what's going on. Okay, blah, blah, blah. He comes talk to the guy. First thing out of the guy's mouth, this is bullshit. He goes, okay, sir, can you come take a walk with me? Let's go. Both couples on either side of this guy look up at me, and they're just like, what is wrong with that guy? And I'm like, whatever. I'm like, he's freaking out. Every single person at the bar that heard any part of that interaction, because, of course, we go and apologize. Hey, sorry about that. Don't want to disturb anybody. Every single person took my side. They're like, that guy's crazy. They're like, that was ridiculous. They're like, you're doing great. And so boss takes him outside. They have a back and forth. He's asking for free stuff, apparently. Like, I want free this and that. And the boss would have taken care of him with a different attitude. But he's like, you know what, sir? He's like, I'm going to call security. I got to ask you to leave. Dude doesn't leave, waits for security to come, and then he eventually leaves. After the fact, boss sends me a picture saying this was the guy that we just kicked out. This guy has been on television. He's the CEO of a company, and he is worth, they said at least $250 million. Now, that's alleged. I can't confirm that 100% myself because I don't know who the guy was, and I didn't have enough of an interaction with him to confirm that. But the boss swears that that's who this guy was. A $250 million CEO screaming at me how he used to be a bartender 30 years ago.
Space Hawk.
We know who that was because I talk all the damn time. I'm not going to thank myself for the story.
John,
but it's aggravating.
I'd like to thank you for that story. That was a great story, John. Nice work. That fits our theme very
and
well.
And hey, Deb finally got a week off. She didn't have to wrangle a story.
Oh, but Deb's got a better story than that. I mean, it was a good story, but we know Deb's got better ones than that. So,
well, yeah, that's why we save them. That's why when I get one, I like to work it in so I can save Deb's good stories for later.
Feel like you're really worked up about this individual, John. What was it? The turning point was when he said "fuck you," right? That's when you're just like, done.
Oh well, that was when that's when I'm like, okay, I have to go get somebody else because otherwise, then this turns into a back and forth.
Were you
like, like I'll let you curse once, twice, that's fine, but usually by the third cuss, or if even the first one is at me specifically, if he drops an "F you" to me right off the bat, then then I'm gone right away.
Yeah.
But I'll let you get 2 free ones.
Right.
That's fine. If you're upset, like, okay, maybe. Because, look, I've screwed up plenty of times. I've ignored plenty of people. I've had that happen. And if I have to wear that and you have to undress me for it, okay, that's fine. That's part of the deal. But this was not even necessary.
Right. You asked him 2 or 3 times, right? Like when he was
2 different times.
At least, yeah.
And here's the other, like, so many things bother me about this. But when you sit there and tell me I've been ignored for 25 minutes, no, you haven't even been in the building for 25 minutes.
Right.
And we had a whole interaction. I made you a drink. I asked you again if you were ready to order. So, yes, I will concede. I did not speak to you for 10 minutes. I will concede that. But it's not like you didn't see me. I was literally right in front of you the entire time. You could have at any point put a little hand up, but hey, can I get a... That's all that takes, because that's what every other person at the bar was doing because they all recognized I was busy.
When this happens, John, do you get angry? Were you just like thrown aback? Like, were you nervous? What physically
in the moment?
Yeah, how you feeling in the moment?
Like when it very first happens, I want to fix it. That's my first response. Oh, hey, sorry. What can I do to fix it? Because that's just how I'm programmed at work. But as soon as you start cussing at me and not talking to me like a human being, then I would yes, I do get upset. Like, I want to fight you, but I don't ever show that, and I don't get into that because that's not going to go anywhere. So that's when I immediately should go like, I'm going to go get a manager. You can keep talking to me while I walk away, whatever you want to do, but then I just go get somebody who gets paid to deal with that crap.
Yeah, these instances, I don't know if I've ever had anybody on the other bar just straight up say, fuck you. But I just get mad. Like, even when somebody returns a drink and I know I made it properly, I'm just like, you're an idiot. I don't like you.
Oh, yeah, no. I get annoyed for sure. But, so much about this bothers me. The fact that you have that much money and you're yelling at anybody for anything, stop it. And then trying to get free stuff, especially when you have that much money, ridiculous.
Right. If it is indeed this person whose business is allegedly
we're
going
to act as if, but that's why we're not going to say the company. We're not going to say his name just in case it's not. But I'm acting as if.
Yeah, that just makes it, that compounds it after the fact, because at the time you're not thinking of that. You're just some idiot in a suit acting like you know what's up.
And exactly,
it's my birthday.
And then to say that I've done this job. If you've done this job, then why don't you understand the situation? Why don't you know how to order at a bar? Why don't you know how to get my attention if you need it?
There's triggers, John, though. When this guy comes in and says it's his birthday, you know he's a douchebag right away. So
of course, that's why I threw that in there, because I was like, that sets the tone for how this. You've been in here how long, and you're already saying everything's free. And I'm like, and I get it, you're joking and blah blah blah, but there's truth in a joke, and that was definitely truth in a joke, trying to get me to understand that, hey, it's my birthday, hook me up.
That is my least favorite thing, when somebody tells me it's their fucking birthday.
Oh, especially a grown man. Grown man tells me it's his birthday. Cool. I wish your mom had handled that years ago.
A friend can tell me it's their birthday, but hopefully I know You know, like I don't tell anybody it's my fucking birthday. I'm 34 years old. I don't like after 21. Who cares? 30, maybe you hit milestones, right? Every 10 years. Okay, go buy yourself something nice.
No, but I agree. Like after it's maybe for women, it's different. I think it's different for women. Get a birthday month, let them have it. I'm fine with that. But when a guy over 21 is like, hey, it's my birthday. Oh, I don't care. Nobody cares.
Can I get a
Nobody
cupcake?
cares.
What do you do for birthdays? What do you do for birthdays?
Congratulations, you didn't die yet. Great.
If we gave out drinks for birthdays, we'd never sell a goddamn drink.
Ever.
Idiots. I hate that shit.
And it also speaks to like the balls of somebody to go into your job and know that they can talk to you however they want because they know that they're not going to catch those hands.
Right.
That upsets me in a way that's like, because it's the same people that do it over the phone. When I did telemarketing briefly, the things that people would say to me on the phone, it's like, yeah, of course you got the balls to say that because we're not face to face.
Right.
Because you know there's no consequence. You know that I'm not going to come at you.
Might as well be an internet troll pleading, like on an anonymous level because you're just the guy behind the bar who's not going to ever do anything because you can't.
Exactly. But that little 3 feet of bar between us gives him all the balls in the world to talk to me however the hell he wants.
Yeah, man.
I was like, dude, you're just lucky I don't want to go to jail or get fired.
Right. Not today.
Exactly. Not today. I was like, don't think that I won't do this long enough where I'm like, you know what? No job in jail sounds way better than this anyways.
Funny enough, I was talking with some people last night about setting up a spring-loaded shotgun at the bottom of my bar so that I can kick it up with my feet. Like, that's what I would have done to this dude. Just, hey, you can leave. I'm not going to pull the trigger, but guess what? I've got a sawed-off shotgun back here. That's how we do it in the mountain, my man. That's how we do it in a non-corporate environment, my friend. Maybe it's time to move on. People feel safe in those corporate environments because they know if you do say anything back, guess what they're going to do? Go to your boss. Go to your HR representative. Go well above your head.
Even if it's not a shotgun, I think a bat would be just as effective.
Oh, a bat would be great. You're just like, all right, you want to go?
You could spring load a bat to come up out of there, and you just grab it, and you're like, I'm sorry, what was that?
This is bullshit? Nah, this is bullshit.
Tell me more about you bartending 30 years ago. How was that? Tell me more about that.
How'd you do it? You should have just started asking him drink recipes, testing him, see if he's still there.
What's in a Sazerac, dude?
Oh, snap. What do you know about habanero-infused margaritas? John, a Sazerac is when you put absinthe in a glass, you rinse it around, dump it out, and then in the glass it is a sugar cube, couple dashes of bitters, maybe a little bit of water, muddle that together, pour some rye whiskey over it, garnish with a lemon twist. You're welcome.
That's delicious.
It is a delicious drink. Originally, it was a cognac drink, but it turned into a rye drink. I don't remember why, but I read all about it at some point.
Yeah, I would rather have the rye than the cognac.
Absolutely, 100%.
Although I took a little nip of Hennessy last night. It actually wasn't bad.
Oh man, every year Christmas time, along with my bottle, like December, I always get a bottle of Bailey's and a bottle of Cavassier. Just something about Cavassier and a snifter, man. Oof, so good when it's cold outside.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like I'll tell you though, I'm still not a Scotch drinker. Still not a Scotch drinker.
Scotch is all right.
I taste, but man, I don't have the palate for it. Every time I have Scotch, it's still like a punch in the mouth.
I much prefer whiskey and bourbon, especially.
Oh God, yeah.
Because I'm an American. And you know what pisses me off about Scotch? I found out that a lot of Scotch makers buy barrels from Jack Daniels. Now that's some bullshit.
No, it's dude. Why wouldn't you get your supplies from the King?
How long have these guys been at it? Allegedly, they've been making scotches way longer than Jack Daniels, right? Like,
but do they do it? But here's the thing: but do they do what they do better than he does what he does? Nope.
I'm just saying, like, if you guys want to be legitimate makers, make your own goddamn barrels. Stop taking American barrels
that to me is
back
like,
to Scotland.
If Aaron Rodgers went to Michael Jordan to ask him about football, you'd be like, yeah, but Michael Jordan doesn't know anything about football. Yeah, but he's the best athlete ever. So
Jack
we'll just
Daniels
let that
is
go.
not the best whiskey maker ever, my friend. You are completely
Disagree.
mistaken.
Disagree.
Tennessee
Disagree.
whiskey has nothing on Kentucky straight bourbon. Ugh.
Jack Daniels, Old Number 7, is the best liquor that ever has been or ever will be made. Jack Daniels, the Jack Daniels Black Label white writing bottle, is the Michael Jordan of liquor.
You've lost all credibility as a man, as a bartender, and you know what?
No.
I'm suddenly siding with this guy. F*** you, John. You don't know what's going on.
I will firmly stand by that, just like I will firmly stand by Michael Jordan's the best basketball player that'll ever exist. Jack Daniels, best liquor ever, won't change.
Evan Williams is better than Jack Daniels.
Oh my God, you're a fool.
Ugh.
Okay.
I
think. Well, this is the end of the 86 Charles.
We
This podcast is
cannot.
over.
Yeah, we can. You've lost all credibility. I side with this guy in the
Absolutely
story.
not. Absolutely.
This is
not.
bullshit, John. This is bullshit. I quote your friend, and he was correct in saying that this is bullshit.
No.
We'll never. Well, yeah, I don't know what to do. I'd like to thank Jesse and Deb. Big shout out to the other Jesse Fairchild. Big shout out to the other Travis. Apparently,
I was gonna say big shout out to other Travis. Andrew.
Ask what kind of whiskey does this guy like? He probably likes Jack Daniels too.
No, that's why I don't know what he drinks specifically, but you'll love this guy because he drinks as much as you do.
I don't like drinking, John. I just have to drink. It's not that I enjoy it.
Same. Trust me. It's the same cat. And he went to U of A for like 2 weeks.
I never went to U of A.
Right, but you have an Arizona connection though.
Well, I don't care. I didn't go. I went to Arizona State University, John. I'm a Sun Devil. I'm a Scum Devil.
Yeah, dude, it's not my fault you were a Scum Devil.
I'm just saying, like, all your things that were allegedly alike.
You should be stoked. I found your new best friend.
I don't want.
And all I'm getting is jealousy.
I don't want a new best friend. I don't want anybody to be like me. I am one of a kind, my friend. My friend.
No, dude, like the original's still better, dude. Don't be upset.
Got me all worked up today, John. Stop talking about Jack Daniels and stop saying there's anybody like me. God damn it.
This goes against everything I believe.
That's all I've got. All right, John. How can the people find us?
Well, obviously, you go to 86charles.com.
That's 86charles.com. Beautiful. You can find us on the Instagram, on the Twitters, at Company Blaster. Send us a message. We'd like to welcome all the new listeners. We're getting people from all over the world listening to us, John. All the way from
We've got quite
Singapore
an
to Russia.
I don't know what it is or who it is, but thank you to every single one of those people because we need it.
And if you want to help us out, you can go to 86charles.com, click on the Amazon link, do your regular shopping, and then we'll get a little bit of a cut. Big shout out to Rick and what's Rick's last name? Oh, Rick Derby. Big shout out to Rick Derby.
I'm like, well, I don't know. He might have taken his wife.
He
might be a hyphy.
He hyphenated his own name. That would be something Rick would do.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, shout out, John. It's that time again, my friend. Let's 86
I was
something.
gonna say, did you forget how we end this show?
I had a roundabout way. I was getting there. Let's go ahead and 86 Jack Daniels. That'll be perfect, John. Go ahead and 86 it.
Oh, how dare you. How dare you. No, what I'm going to 86 is... I've actually got like 3 things. I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to 86... Old work, Travis. Welcome, new work, Travis. Woo!
This is bullshit.
The new boy in the neighborhood lives downstairs and it's understood. He's there just to take good care of me, like he's one of the family.